The world wouldn't be right with your man not talking about the E3 press conferences. So today I want to talk about Microsoft's press conference at E3. There is a good amount of people that believe this was Microsoft's best E3 yet. But was it really? Guys, if you enjoy these kind of videos, please let me know in the comment section below. I personally believe it's important to cover as much of E3 and other game conferences as possible. So many games are being revealed to us at this time. There will be plenty of other conferences I will cover if Microsoft or Bethesda is not your cup of tea. We have a lot to discuss, so let's just get right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Ryofu and you are watching The Gaming Harbinger. Microsoft started the conference with a banger. And I get that it was just a cinematic trailer, but they dropped a bomb for many people who were hoping for the Bethesda purchase to not affect things. Well, I hate to tell you, it's going to affect things all right. You don't spend $7.5 billion to just have timed exclusives. I'm just saying. You don't spend that kind of money to play nice, boo-boo. That's not how this works. I knew Microsoft wasn't playing around 2 years ago when they were buying up studios. I knew then that things were going to be a little different this generation. Starfield being an Xbox exclusive is exactly what Xbox needs to be competitive. This was a big moment, which I'm sure is one of the reasons journalists and YouTubers believe Microsoft killed it this year. I wasn't as surprised personally, but I think they did it in a classy way. As soon as I saw Todd Howard walk out with his fresh kicks across that shiny stage, I knew something was up. I knew that an announcement was coming. Microsoft has paid good money to obtain Bethesda, so let's see if they can actually deliver with Starfield. Stalker 2 was the second game to be showcased, and I'll be honest, I never played the original, but it dealing with aspects of what happened in Chernobyl fascinates me. It looks really promising. Like Starfield, this doesn't come out until 2022. Next up is the spiritual successor Left 4 Dead called Back 4 Blood. There is no denying that there is a huge following for this series, so I think this game has to crush it. If we can get this many enemies on screen with little to no frame drops, people are gonna love this. They're gonna eat it up. The gameplay already looks exciting. Contraband appears to be a new IP and Xbox exclusive, but all we got were some 3D pans of stills and the announcement of the game. We will have to wait and see what exactly this is about. And real quick, I'm gonna give a hot take, okay? They could have waited to reveal this. I'd rather wait until we understand what the game actually is than to announce it. It just seems pointless. Next up, we have the Sea of Thieves DLC, and it features the infamous Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. And I really need to try this game, and I mean, it's on Game Pass. I should check it out. It looks loads of fun. And Jack Sparrow is just like a perfect fit for the game.
I don't suppose, by chance, there's a second one of those?
The Yakuza Like a Dragon was a timed exclusive for the Xbox Series, but I must say, shame on me for not jumping on this series. I can get behind this kind of humor. It's so absurd, I'm in.
Order up. What the? Happy birthday!
Battlefield 2042 looks as hyper-realistic as ever before. Battlefield always has very impressive visuals. As someone that casually dabbles, and I do mean casually dabbles in the series, it looks really good, and it comes out this year in October. 12 minutes includes the voices of James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe. in a top-down title in which you alter and change things to get a different outcome, and I guess you're doing this all in 12 minutes to figure out a murder mystery. I'm not going to imply that this is like some new concept in gaming, but I will just say most games I played that had a similar mechanic, I really enjoyed. So I will be checking this out. Psychonauts 2 is a game I am really looking forward to. I am really hoping this game does well because I'm sure a lot of people will be seeing this game and they will have never played the first. But whatever happens, this game appears to be throwing every gameplay mechanic known to mankind at you. Love it.
It's a mission about the fate of the world. Can you do that?
Yes, if I can find some bacon.
And I have to co-sign this. Bacon is of the absolute highest priority. Never forget that. At this point in the show, Bethesda took some time to reveal 10 classic titles being added to Game Pass. By the way, that brings the total to 30 Bethesda games that are now on Game Pass. One cool thing is that Doom Eternal is getting an Xbox Series X and S patch and can run in 4K or a performance mode that runs at 120 frames per second. And I do want to take a quick moment and comment on this. So I get last generation Xbox didn't have a lot of exclusives, and in 2013 when it was released, it was the weaker console. However, we have to give credit where credit is due. I wasn't too fond of Microsoft flexing last year about, oh, our system can do 120 frames per second. Because I felt like if they don't ever hit this number, it would be thrown back in their faces. Ladies and gentlemen, there have already been several games hitting 120 frames per second on the Series X. Did you know that? Gears 5 and Ori were two of the first mentioned. Mass Effect Trilogy and Doom Eternal are some of the more recent ones. I just thought I'd point that out to you. So next up is the infamous Fallout 76. Fallout 76 will be getting free DLC Steel Rain on July 7th. Another up-and-coming DLC, The Pit, will drop in 2022. Elder Scrolls Deadlands will release fall of this year. Also, upon the time you are watching this, there will be a Series X and S patch to improve the graphics. Oh boy, this looks adorable and cute. Party animals. I am probably not the target audience, but yeah, it kind of looks like some sort of variation of Fall Guys, which is not a bad thing because Fall Guys has been crushing it, man, and it needs some competition. Okay, that was funny. He stole the mic, son, he stole the mic. Hades is one of those games I debate on giving it a shot. I have not played a lot of rogue games because it's hard for me to get past following a tiny little character running around on the map and just at that camera angle. I am really not a fan of that camera angle in games. I'm just not. But this game has won an insane amount of awards. It kind of makes me want to try it. This is coming to Xbox on August 13th, 2021. Somerville is another Xbox exclusive. It looks like it's a 2D-ish style action game where you're running around trying to keep your family alive. It kind of gives the vibe that there will be some tragedy in the story. This one comes out in 2022. Now, the moment some of you have been waiting for. It's time to talk about Halo Infinite multiplayer. While last year's debut was hit with lots of memes and criticism, people seem to really dig this sharper and crisper fidelity of Halo. So I have another hot take. So with the campaign reveal, I openly stated in my video last year that I was expecting just a little bit more from them. But I wasn't heartbroken over it because, you know, if the game is fun, that's the most important thing. It does not have to be the prettiest Xbox exclusive known to mankind or anything like that. So, with that being said, this multiplayer looks good, but I would also push back a little and say I didn't see any super crazy new game mechanic or game mode. I just saw very detailed Spartans running around and shooting at each other. It's interesting because I guess this is what people really wanted, essentially. Just more increased realism and less stylization. You know, I don't know, man. I kind of feel conflicted on the topic. On one end, this appears to look better than the campaign we saw before, but the question is, was last year's reveal a genuine critique on fidelity and performance, or was it a critique on the style and the look they decided to go with? It's hard to say, man. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Diablo 2 Resurrected is a remaster for the ages. This game is a remaster of the original. The visuals have been improved significantly, but as far as the mechanics and the balances in the game, they remain unchanged. It will allow the player to toggle between the remaster version and original with the press of a button. I love when games do this, by the way. This remaster will have 4K assets as well as 7.1 Dolby Surround. And I'm not sure if most Diablo fans will care about 7.1 surround sound, but I do. Job well done, guys. A Plague Tale Requiem is a sequel to A Plague Tale Innocence. I have never played the original, but I have watched a YouTuber from YouTube Growth Community. Hey, there's a little plug for you guys. And this game, when I was watching it, was way more visceral and intense than I was expecting. The voice acting was really good, and just the way the story was presented, it was just way more cinematic than what I was anticipating. I would absolutely play the sequel to this. Far Cry 6 stars Giancarlo Esposito and Anthony Gonzalez, which lets you know Ubisoft isn't playing around. They're bringing in the big dogs. I've played Far Cry games here and there, and this looks to be one I can't miss out on. This has been described by the devs as the biggest Far Cry playground to date. This release is October 7th of 2021. Slime Rancher 2 is going to be another Xbox exclusive, and it's very vibrant and colorful, and yeah, you suck up cute and adorable slime. So this cute and adorable adventure begins in 2022. Shredders is a stylish snowboarding game that is another Xbox exclusive. This game comes out in December of this year, and I have to say, Xbox does need games like this and Slime Rancher 2. And it's perfect. I mean, like, they need to diversify the roster like what they're doing right now, so they need to keep it up. Atomic Heart looks really weird and interesting. I believe this is going to also be on PlayStation 5. Not sure what this is about, but it's different enough that it makes me want to try it. Replace is another Xbox exclusive that comes out 2022. I am not sure if this is for me, but I can appreciate how brutal the violence is in this 2D side scroller. So we have more content coming for Grounded. The Shroom and Doom update happens June 30th of this year. I have to say that I have recently downloaded this on the Series X, and I am really enjoying the crafting aspects of the game. Really good stuff. Among Us is finally coming to Xbox. Better late than never. And it's coming out, we don't know. But it's coming soon. It's coming soon. No date, no year. A little strange. Anyways, next up is a game that impressed the shit out of me. Hey, was that a sister girl I just saw there? Hey, the sprites look amazing. This amalgamation of old school sprites mixed with modern graphical effects is just very striking. This is the type of game I was not expecting to see at this event. This is a day one purchase for me. So I don't want to destroy that title. You see the title on your screen, but it begins with an E. Chronicle 100 Heroes comes out 2023. begins with an E. Chronicle Rising comes out 2022. I'm gonna, I will learn how to pronounce this correctly. I apologize. I don't like saying stuff incorrectly. That greatly offends me. The Ascent is an Xbox exclusive, and normally this wouldn't be a game that would appeal to me. The level of detail in the action, though, is very impressive, and this is one of the few exclusives that is coming out really soon, July 29th. Ages of Empire 4 comes out October 28th of this year. It's kind of nice to see series such as this still around and getting new sequels. This was a very hilarious trailer and totally fitting with the humor and vibe of Outer Worlds. The sequel will be another solid exclusive for Microsoft if they can pull it off. I'm really hoping that it is just as good as the original. Flight Simulator is finally hitting the Series S and X, and it is probably the prettiest game on the console. Now, I understand the audience for this type of game is smaller than Guns A-Blazing, but you have to give credit where credit is due. This looks absolutely jaw-dropping. Really cool stuff. This comes out July 27th, 2021. Forza Horizon 5 comes out November 9th of this year, and Microsoft decided to ride out the conference with Forza. And once again, I'm going to be very transparent. I play Forza as much as I play Battlefield. Very, very little. But sometimes you want to play games like this that show off the power of the system. One thing I would like to say is that a lot of us non-racing fans need to give it up to Playgrounds. So much effort went into the creation of this game. The new game modes and showcase in Mexico kind of make me realize that some of us have underappreciated the series. Last gen, Gears and Forza were crushing it with solid titles for Xbox, and Halo, was kind of mixed. But I'm bringing this up to say that sometimes people, like to kind of be jerk faces and say stuff like, all Xbox has is Halo, Gears, and Forza. But in reality, you say that, but we really shouldn't take games like those for granted. Arcane Studios, the creators of Dishonored and Prey, closed the show with a cinematic trailer of Redfall. It appears to be some kind of open world shooter where instead of killing hordes of zombies, it's vampires. This comes out summer of 2022. Man, 2022 is gonna be bananas. And just when you think it's over, for a second time, we are presented with an Xbox mini fridge. And, I can appreciate the fact that it looks like the console. That's cool. And, I guess this is probably something that'll interest people that are gaming and they're really far away from their refrigerator, I guess. For those that are new here and are still watching this far into the video, I am console agnostic. I see their strength and weaknesses. I hate to say the phrase people are saying, but the consensus is that Microsoft crushed E3 this year. I have yet to hear someone say that, E3 was bad for Microsoft as always or something like that. I haven't heard that. I have heard a few people say what my initial reaction was though, and that was, this was good, but, it might depend on what kind of games you like. So the first time I saw this, I noticed two things. Lots and lots of games that were first-person shooters, which, I definitely play first-person shooters, but that isn't my end-all be-all. The second thing I noticed, which blindsided me completely, was day one on Game Pass. Day one on Game Pass. Day one on Game Pass. That is really awesome. And I can't even recall one game that didn't say day one on Game Pass. But let's go back to my first-person shooter statement. Upon my second watch of the show, I realized the games were more diverse than I remembered. They just weren't games I would typically play. So imagine if you're not Ryofu and you don't know what first-person shooter fatigue is. This conference was a dream for you. So I think the strong majority of people that feel that this was Microsoft's best are people who were pleased with not only the games being shown, but how many are exclusives and how many are day one on Game Pass. But maybe you should let me know what you think in the comment section below. I still have a few other E3 shenanigans I would like to discuss, so there is still so much more to come. By the way, let me know how you guys like this format. I've been doing it for 2 years now. Do you prefer me to cover all the games in a conference? Sometimes I feel like it's necessary because I might not care about something, but maybe one of my viewers does care. Or would you rather it be just a much more condensed video with just the highlights? This is something I've gone back and forth on, and I'm pretty open to do it either way, so just let me know. With that being said, I really appreciate you for watching the video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.